Chaos Space Marine Tactica! Ha ha ha! MiniWarGamer Dave here from MiniWarGaming.com. This is the moment you've all been waiting for, all of you Chaos fans out there. Yeah, that's right, we're doing Chaos Tactics now. In my personal opinion, the absolute coolest army that has ever existed in the Warhammer 40k universe. All you Chaos fans know what I'm talking about. To be a champion of Chaos is to have a number of different fates. You can be a really good fighter, and in the eyes of the Chaos gods, they grant you more gifts. Well, sometimes these gifts can be mutations. And as you know, Chaos Space Marines used to be Space Marines, which are superhuman, monstrous, gargantuan men who have the strength and abilities of scores of littler men. And that's why they're able to withstand all these mutations. Like these horns, for example, coming out of his helmet. And you can possibly be given more followers. Spawn. Here's my spawn. Now the worst possible fate for a champion of Chaos is to become so consumed by Chaos that you turn into one of these. A mindless spawn, left to be a pet on a leash, kicked around by your former followers. Not the fate you want. Then there's the absolute coolest fate. That is to excel so much and to be absolutely favored so much by the gods of Chaos that they make you a demon prince, an immortal and all-powerful warrior who is destined to serve his god for all eternity. A select few are chosen to continue to be their warband leaders, receiving the praise and adoration of their minions. But that's enough of the fluff for now. In this video, we're going to talk about the different marks that you can give your Chaos Space Marines. So you can have them in squads of 5 to 20 men. How many to choose in a squad? Well, that's entirely up to you. Some people like 5 because they don't like fielding these. They don't like those mandatory troop choices. So they go with the minimum of 5. So they have 2 squads of 5. Some people like 10. Because when you have 10 guys in a squad, you're able to have a heavy weapon. And some people even go as far as 20-man squads. Now, this is how I feel about all of this. 5-man squads are too small. You're not going to get what you want done with them, and those mandatory troop choices are a good thing. Otherwise, you would have power gamers just ramming in everything that is so ridiculously powerful and just winning all the time and wanting to win all the time. And we don't want to be that type of player because we want to be pleasant to play with. I want to smile as I kill you, and I want you to smile as I'm killing you. Well, that's all besides the point. 10-man squads are good. A lot of people like fielding 7-man squads. That's absolutely redundant now. It's all for fluff's sake, and it doesn't really matter anymore. 10-man squads are the way to go. If you want to, you can field a heavy weapon. And if you choose to put a mark on them, whether it be Slanesh, Nurgle, Tzeentch, or Khorne, then the amount of points it'll take to put that mark on them would be distributed amongst those 10 men, and it won't cost as much per model. 20-man squad, way too many. Especially if you put a heavy weapon in there and that one heavy weapon can only fire at one thing and all the rest can't even reach it, and so all those 18 or 19 other guys can't even fire at the same thing and all those shots are wasted, you might as well not even do it. Total waste, too bulky, you're going to be slaughtered. 10-man squads are the way to go. I'm telling you. Now going back to the subject of putting a mark on them. And if you look under the MiniWarGaming forums under Chaos Central, you will see that Zerul or Red X Gamer pretty much agree on what to do for this. Let's talk about the icon of Chaos Glory. First of all, it's cheap, and you can use it for teleport homing and summoning other awesome units in your army. And it also definitely helps with your morale rerolls, because in case that you didn't know, we are Chaos Marines. We're not Space Marines. Therefore, we don't benefit from the rule, and they shall know no fear. So we don't automatically pass all those tests, which means we can run from combat, and we can get caught in sweeping advances. So anything in that area would help. Mark of Khorne. Now that's very debatable if you want to even put them on there in the first place, because you got your Khorne Berserkers. Khorne Berserkers are also a troop's choice, so it makes no difference there. Now if you were to put the Mark of Khorne on these guys, it all depends on how many guys you have in your squad in order for it to even make it effective in the first place. Because if you have a small amount of guys in your squad, under 10, put that Mark of Khorne on there. Now it's not going to be a huge difference in points if you were to compare it to regular Chaos Space Marines and the Khorne Berserkers. But let's not forget, Chaos Space Marines don't have Furious Charge. Khorne Berserkers do. So, if you're going to put the Mark of Khorne on your Chaos Space Marines, consider using Khorne Berserkers instead. And on top of that, Berserkers get an extra attack. So consider these things very carefully. It's not just a matter of, oh, I'll put this mark on them, which gives them an extra attack. Oh, think it through. Me, I never put the Mark of Khorne on my Chaos Space Marines. Just never do it. If I want to make them close combat ninjas, then I field Khorne Berserkers, because they have everything preset. Did I mention they also have a higher weapon skill, and you can field 5 to 20 men? But we're not talking about Khorne Berserkers. We are talking about Chaos Space Marines. So let's go on to the next mark. Mark of Slanesh can be useful in a few certain circumstances. It gives you a higher initiative, but it all depends on what you're fighting. Now, that's only one more initiative. If you're playing against Tyrannid and you just happen to go against Gene Stealers, it may not be the best thing because there is a 2 different initiative there. Okay? Add 1, it doesn't matter. If I attack you first, you're still going to technically attack me first, and I'll be slaughtered regardless, so it doesn't even matter. Consider the army that you are fighting before you put these marks on these guys, before you build your army. Because that's really what you're building your army for, is to know your opponent before you fight them, so you can give your army the best possible advantage. Mark of Slanesh, I don't usually put on my guys either. It's cheap, yes, but I have found that overall it doesn't make too much of a difference. Unless you're fighting an army where that one initiative will make all the difference in the world. If you're attacking them first, you wipe them out and you can't even attack you back. That is what you got to think about. Okay, gentlemen, let's talk about the Mark of Nurgle. Now, if you're thinking about putting the Mark of Nurgle on your guys, you need to consider using Plague Marines instead, because there are a few fundamental differences between the two that make the points cost so much more worth it if you field Plague Marines as opposed to Chaos Space Marines with the Mark of Nurgle. For one, Plague Marines have Fearless. Chaos Space Marines don't. Another, they have Feel No Pain. Chaos Space Marines also don't have Feel No Pain. Feel No Pain, enemy rolls a wound, they get a wound on you. You get to roll your save. If you fail your save, you roll another die. If you get a 1, 2, or 3, you're dead. If you roll a 4, 5, or 6, you stay alive. That's how that works. Yes, granted, Plague Marines have a lower initiative. However, that's when you use them more for holding objectives, because if you do that, it's going to take so much to saw through them, and if the enemy is focusing their firepower on your Plague Marines that are holding objectives, you can use all the other guys in your army to focus on whatever you want. Consider that very carefully if you're thinking about putting the Mark of Nurgle on your guys. The Mark of Nurgle is the most expensive mark. Mark of Nurgle does give you a higher toughness, and that is nice. And the last and final mark, Tzeentch, or some people actually say Tzeentch. Whether it's Tzeentch or Tzeentch, the TZ sound to me makes a Z, not a tizzy. If it was a TZ, it would be an E after the T, and that doesn't make sense because it's spelled TZ. Anyway, that's beside the point, and this is what you do with the Mark of Tzeentch. It gives you an invulnerable save. An invulnerable save is a save that you automatically get even if the armor-piercing value of the weapon shooting against your save negates it. You still get that invulnerable save. A lot of points for the Mark of Tzeentch. It's useful to place on your Chaos Space Marines if you're fighting squads that have capabilities such as rending, or if the AP value of their weapons are going to just chew through your armor. That's when you give them the Mark of Tzeentch. Or if you just simply want to place the Mark of Tzeentch on them because you have a Tzeentch army. There you go, Mark of Tzeentch. I'm a fan of putting the Mark of Tzeentch on my Demon Prince because there's a lot of wickedly awesome, ridiculous abilities that I give him, but we will talk about that in a later video because that will make a very long, awesome video in and of itself. So those are all the marks that you can give your Chaos Space Marines. And remember to choose your marks carefully. Be very careful when you choose your marks. If you're playing using strategy, choose the best possible mark for the enemy that you are facing. So, why collect Chaos Space Marines? Because they're ridiculously awesome, and you can field one of these. Defiler! Yeah, you know, I just had to do that.